The grand ballroom blazed, chandeliers glittered, casting dancing light upon the opulent gathering below. Jewels sparkled on elegant gowns, a symphony of rustling silk and murmured conversations. Yet Prince Edward saw none of it. His eyes, heavy with an unnamed longing, fixated on a solitary figure amidst the grandeur. She moved with a quiet grace, her simple attire a stark contrast to the surrounding finery. Her task was simple, almost invisible. She replenished a silver tray, her movements efficient and silent. Yet to Edward she outshone the entire court with a beauty deeper than any jewel. Her name was Ilara. Edward knew this, though he had never spoken a word to her. She was a servant in his father's palace, a whisper in the grand tapestry of royal life. He, the crown prince, destined for a throne and a marriage of political convenience. Their worlds were as different as night and day, yet he found himself hopelessly, inexplicably drawn to her. That night, as the music swelled and the guests waltzed in oblivious splendor, a seed of longing took root in Prince Edward's heart. He vowed to know this enigmatic girl, this intriguing whisper in the cacophony of his life. Ilara moved through the palace halls, a phantom amidst the bustle and grandeur. She knew her place, invisible, unnoticed. Her days were spent in quiet service, fulfilling her duties with the diligence born of necessity. The palace, with all its splendor, felt more like a gilded cage than a home. She had noticed him, of course, the prince. His eyes, the color of a stormy sky, held a depth that belied his youthful features. He seemed different from the others, untouched by the casual arrogance of nobility. Still, he was a world away, a star in a sky she could never reach. One afternoon she found herself in the palace library, dusting shelves stacked high with leather-bound volumes. The air hung heavy with the scent of aged parchment and forgotten lore. Suddenly the door creaked open, framing the prince in the warm afternoon light. Ilara froze, her heart pounding against her ribs like a trapped bird. He should not be here, in this quiet sanctuary, disturbing the dust motes, dancing in the sunbeams. Yet here he was, his presence filling the room with an unspoken energy that sent shivers down her spine. Their first encounter was brief, a collision of worlds in the hushed silence of the library. Edward, with a disarming smile, claimed he had merely been searching for a misplaced book. Ilara, flustered and acutely aware of the gulf between them, mumbled a polite response. Yet that chance meeting sparked something. Edward found himself drawn back to the library, inventing excuses to steal a few moments with Ilara. Their conversations, at first hesitant and polite, soon blossomed into something deeper. They spoke of books and dreams, their shared love for stories, forging an invisible bond. Ilara, initially wary, found herself opening up to the prince. She spoke of her hopes, her fears, her simple dreams of a life beyond the palace walls. Edward listened, captivated by her spirit, her quiet intelligence. Their meetings became a cherished secret, stolen moments in the tapestry of their vastly different lives. The grand palace, with its endless corridors and hidden alcoves, became their playground. A shared glance across a crowded room, a whispered word during a bustling feast. These became the threads that bound their hearts together. The weight of their secret love pressed heavily upon them. Edward, ever mindful of his responsibilities, knew a relationship with Ilara was unthinkable. The court, with its intricate web of alliances and expectations, would never accept her. He was promised to another, a princess from a neighboring kingdom. Their union, a strategic move in the endless game of power, had been decided before he was even born. The thought of marrying without love, of living a lie while his heart ached for Ilara, filled him with a suffocating dread. Ilara, too, felt the impossible chasm that separated them. The whispers and sideways glances from other servants served as a constant reminder of their difference. She was acutely aware that love for them could only exist in stolen moments and whispered promises. The fear of discovery haunted their every encounter. One wrong step, a careless whisper overheard, could shatter their fragile world. Their love, forbidden and dangerous, became a bittersweet ache in their hearts.